Day 22. We are so close to the finish line. Well done for getting this far. You've only got a couple more days to go. So I am on a chair. That does not mean you have to be on a chair. This can all be done on the mat as well. So grab your mat, grab your space, your chair, anything that's going to help you today. Wear comfortable clothing you can move easily in, and I will see you in a second. If you are on a mat, just come to a comfortable seated position. Likewise, if you are on a chair, make yourselves comfortable. We'll do our 3 breath check-in and then we will get moving straight away. So taking a breath in and out. In and out. 3rd breath in and out. So if you are on a mat, come into tabletop position, excuse me. So your knees are under your hips, wrists are under your shoulders. Have the fingers quite widely spaced apart. If you're on a chair, feet flat on the mat, really push down through the feet, arms come out in front of you, push through the heels of the hands, so this part here. Push through, shoulder blades down the back. As you're pushing the floor away, or as you're pushing through the heels of the hand, you might just notice a little bit of a doming in the top of the back. It's absolutely fine. Just engaging everything. Feel that engagement. And from here, let's move into our cat-cow flow. So if you're on a chair, feel free to bring the hands down to your knees. You can do it with the arms out in front of you if you like. As you inhale, drop the stomach, open the chest, look forward or up. Exhale, round through the back, chin draws towards the chest, tummy button maybe draws in towards the spine. Inhale, open the chest, look forward or up. Exhale, round through the back. I have the creaky chair. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, round through the back. So continue with your cat-cow flow at your own breathing pace. Creaky, creaky, creaky. It's only when I round my back. So next time you exhale, make that the last one. Come back to a neutral tabletop or seated position. If you are seated, bring your left hand to your left knee, and everybody raise the right arm up, take your gaze towards that right hand, push down through the knees or the feet if you're seated. Inhale. As you exhale, post that right hand underneath the left arm. We're not going to come down to the shoulders just yet, so inhale, lift the right arm up, take your gaze towards the right hand if it feels okay. Exhale, post it underneath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, post the right hand underneath the left arm. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, post it underneath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, post it underneath. One more time. And on this time, let's bring the shoulder down to the mat if you're on the mat. Everybody just ease your right hand underneath. So if you are seated, just allowing that stretch into the shoulder. Use your left hand for support where is needed. Breathe. If you can see the little frog, the frog is joining us in Thread the Needle at the moment. And then push through that left hand. Lift yourselves back up to seated or to tabletop. Give it a wiggle if you need a wiggle. And we'll go the other side. So right hand on the mat or on your left, on the right knee. Left arm raises. I got the correct side. Left arm, yes. Take your gaze towards that left hand. Couple of breaths here. And then as you exhale, post that left hand underneath the right arm. Inhale, lift back up. Take your gaze towards left hand. Exhale, post it underneath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, post it underneath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. And then on this one, as you post the left hand underneath the right arm, bring your shoulder down to the mat. If you are on the mat, ease your hand through. So everybody just ease your left hand through to increase that stretch if it feels good. Use your right hand for support where is needed. Lovely. Inhale, lift yourselves back up to tabletop or to seated. Excellent. So, raising from a tabletop position, raise your right knee up, and if you're seated, hug your right knee in. And we're just going to start doing some hip openers. So just gently take that right knee in some circles so you're getting into the hip. Maybe starting those circles small, making them bigger. She's snoring like a trooper, I don't know if you can hear. And then take those circles the other way. Lovely stuff. If you are in tabletop, really pushing down through the hands and your left foot just to give yourself some stability. Lovely. Release that right knee back down to the mat. Sorry. One day I might get them right. We'll do the same the other side. So from tabletop, lift your left knee up, keep the knee bent. For seated people, hug that left knee in. Use your hands to help support you with your hip openers. So everybody, if we just start to move our left knee in some circles, so getting into the hip, releasing through the hip, making those circles as big or as small as you wish, and then taking those circles the other way. Lovely stuff. Excellent. So release that knee or the foot down to the mat. Lovely stuff. Hips are hopefully feeling a little bit better than they were. So if you are on the mat, tuck your right toes, push through the right heel, get a stretch through the back of that right leg. So if you're on the chair, similar kind of thing, take your right leg out long, push through the heel, flex the toes up towards the mat, towards the body. So everybody lift the heel up to about hip height if that feels good. And staying here if this is enough for you. If you're getting enough of a balance, stay here. If you want to go a little bit further, you can raise that left arm up or in front of you. Lovely stuff. Staying here if you wish to stay here. If you want to go further, as you exhale, draw the elbow towards the knee. Inhale, straighten out. We'll do that a few more times if you want to. Exhale, knee to elbow. Try to use your hip flexors and your stomach muscles to initiate the movement. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, back. Let's do two more. Exhale, knee to elbow. You've got this. If you're not moving the elbow and the knee, keeping your balance where you are. Exhale, knee to elbow. Straighten everything out. Let's hold it all for another breath. As you exhale, release down. So knee comes to the mat, foot to the floor, hand back down to the mat as well. Excellent. We'll go the other side. So if you are mat based, tuck your left toes, push through the heel, straighten that leg. If you are on a chair, straighten the left leg out in front of you, heel comes to the floor, toes flexed. Just take a second to appreciate the stretch down the back of that leg. From here, let's bring our heel up towards hip height. Lovely stuff. Staying here if this is enough of a balance for you. If you want to go further, raise that right arm up. Again, staying here if this is enough of a balance for you. If you want to go further, as you exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, straighten up. Take a rest when you need to. Exhale, knee to elbow. Straighten up. As with the other side, try to use your hip flexor and your stomach muscles to initiate the movement. One more time like that. Straighten up. Balance and one more breath. Exhale, release back down to the mat. Take a moment if you need to wiggle anything out or shake anything out. Excellent stuff. So, for people who are in tabletop, bring your right foot forward, coming into a low lunge, so your knee is over the ankle. Let the hips sink down. Bring your hands to that right knee. Let your hips sink down. For those of us on a chair, hug your right knee in towards the chest. Lovely stuff. Everybody on the mat, let the hips sink, but also keep a slight engagement through your pelvic floor muscles. As you inhale, raise the arms overhead. If you can do the same seated, do the same seated. So we're holding that knee up without any support. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, everybody. Gazing thumbs, exhaling, maybe taking the thumbs backwards ever so slightly. So if you are on the mat, get those glutes engaged. Get your left glute really strongly engaged. If you're on a chair, notice if the thigh is starting to, what's the word? Shake. Crescent lunge. As you exhale, release the hands down. Let the foot come to the mat if you are seated. And if you're on the mat, just ease the hips back, coming into a runner's lunge. So similar kind of thing as we were on a chair. Take that right leg out long and fold over that right leg. So if you're on the mat, fold over that right leg again as well. Take a few seconds to breathe. Crescent lunge, well done. Well, this is runner's lunge. Inhale, lift yourselves back up, come back to tabletop if you're on the mat. And then we'll do the same the other side. So bring your left foot forward, knees over the ankle. Take a second to get that position right for you. Let your hips sink down. Bring your hands to your knees and let the hips sink down. For everybody who's seated, hug that left knee in towards the body. Lovely stuff. From here, if we all take our arms overhead, hands come together. Crescent lunge on the other side. So for those who are seated, again, our left knee is still bent up towards the chest, so it's supporting itself there. I mean, you can have one hand there if you want. I'm not going to know. Do what works for you. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, gazing thumbs. Let the hips sink down if you're on the mat. Breathe. Breathe, Daisy. Hey, thanks. Notice if your thigh's starting to shake if you're seated. As you exhale, bring the hands down. Take the hips back if you are on the mat. So you come into a runner's lunge, that left leg is straight. Likewise, if you're on a seat, let the left leg come out long and just fold gently over that front leg, which we all are going to do. Lovely stuff. Lift yourselves back up, come back, bring the left knee over the ankle once more in your low lunge if you're on a mat. And from here, come to standing. If you're on a chair and you fancy standing up, stand up. I think I might. So you don't have to stand up if you're on a chair. It's not an obligation. Once we're stood, bring your feet to hip distance apart. Gently push down through the feet. Calves engage. Thighs lift up. Lengthen through the tailbone slightly. Thank you. Hug the tummy muscles in. Pelvic floor muscles up and on. Shoulder blades down the back. Palms facing forward. Mountain pose. Your gaze is straight ahead of you. And in our mountain pose, we will take 3 breaths to close our practice. Breathing in and out. In and out. On the 3rd breath in, raise the arms overhead and exhale, bring the hands back down to heart center, bowing to yourselves ever so slightly, thanking yourselves for today. And I thank you for joining me.